Welcome to U.S. Bank Stadium for Class 6A football, our first semifinal here for 2016, and it should be a good one. The Totino Grace Eagles and the Blaine Bengals. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Bill Hunstock, and Bill, let's start with Totino Grace. Set the tone early this year, beat Eden Prairie in their first game of the year, and they have only a couple teams have given them a test at all this season, one of them being Blaine, but obviously a team that's been playing extremely well. They blew out Lakeville North last week.
Manhandled them, and you know, they've gotten a lot of talk about their offense and how much they score and everything like that, but I think one of the real strengths that they have is their defense. They're a very well-coached defense. They're very aggressive. They tackle well, and they're well-schooled, and I think they really are the core of what makes the team go. Obviously, the offense gets the points, but the defense sets everything up for them.
Blaine kind of back to prominence here these last couple of years, and this year especially. 12th state tournament appearance for them. They were, every year in and out for a long time, were a team that you had to look at as a contender. Had a little bit of a drop-off, but now have come back very strong this year. They've lost just a couple of games, and both of those losses were to teams that are also in the Final Four.
Absolutely. So they've really played very well this entire season. We saw them earlier in the season against Osseo, and they handled themselves very well at that point in time, and they've played very consistently throughout, and even losing a quarterback midway through the season, picking up the junior quarterback who stepped right in and made sure everything kept going. And again, their defense has played very well.
Let's talk about a couple of key players to look at. Obviously, when you get to this point, you have a lot of good players on both teams, and we've picked out a couple. Charlie Waters, a linebacker who's made a lot of plays for Grace this year. At this point last year was when he got injured. He was unable to play in the semifinals against Osseo, so if nothing else, just great to see him out there.
Absolutely. It's good to see him out there. He's a very, very versatile, good inside linebacker. He does a very good job of coming downhill into the plays and attacking into the line of scrimmage, but he's got good range. He can move side to side as well. And again, with that, with the overall approach of the Grace defense, is to cover everything and fill up and be good tacklers. They're very well schooled fundamentally. Charlie Waters, I think, is a really good example of the kid that can do that. And it's always good to see a kid that got hurt at one point to come back and play again.
And for Blaine, we're going to talk about their pretty good weapons, both running the ball and catching the ball. And we're going to talk about one of their receivers, Curtis Wigan, a guy that definitely has Grace's attention watching him on film.
Yeah, the coaches from Grace said, geez, that number 84 is pretty good. And yeah, he is. He's a tall, 6'4", 200-pound split end. So he's got good range against a lot of times going against 5'9", 5'10" defensive backs. So he's got the height advantage, but he also moves well, runs very good routes. That's a key thing in high school football. A lot of kids are pretty good receivers, but running disciplined routes and getting to the right spot of the field so the quarterback can find you is an important thing. I think Wigan does that. Again, when we saw him earlier in the season, he had a couple of really nice grabs and made the play and moved the sticks and things like that. And if you're having a good balanced offense, you got to have 2 or 3 guys on running and catching the ball that can do it.
We move indoors for this game, obviously. First year at this new stadium. Less warm-up time. It's probably a little warmer than in here than both teams. You have to be ready for that. It's something that's hard to really simulate at a practice, even if you're indoors. And we'll have to see how both teams adjust to it right out here off the bat.
And I don't know if they had any practice time in here this week or not. Usually in the old Metrodome days, they had opportunities to practice at some point, and that made it a little bit different. But now you're coming in, you got 20 minutes to warm up, your routines aren't the same, everything is a little bit rushed, and that makes everybody a little bit more tense, coaches, players. So whoever handles that first 5 minutes of the game the best, I think, is going to have the upper hand, at least for a period of time in the game.
All right, the Eagles and the Bengals. The winner goes to the Prep Bowl to take on either Eden Prairie or Champlin Park. We'll kick off in just a moment here from the home of the Vikings, U.S. Bank Stadium.
Connected community experience. It's at the core of what we do, and it's what we deliver. Keep watching for a new way to think about and experience Channel 12 and Northwest Community Television.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back here as we get set for kickoff as the Eagles and the Bengals get set to decide our first championship participant in Class 6A. And joining us on the sideline tonight is Mr. Ryan Iverson. Let's go to Ryan.
Hi, thanks guys. You can just feel the electricity, the Prep Bowl back indoors after a couple years outdoors at TCF Bank Stadium. Jay, you guys talked about the temperature in here, and I want to tell you from my experience from playing at the Metrodome, you are not comfortable. It is very warm. I found myself dehydrated, thirsty, cramping. So that's something, especially when you're waiting in the locker rooms for an hour, as both teams have been tonight with the delayed start. So that's a big adjustment. Lastly, before I send it back up to you guys, these two teams played on September 30th. Blaine giving Totino Grace one of their closest games of the year, a 21-14 Totino Grace victory. Both of these teams know each other. Their coaches know each other. They scrimmaged in the summer before the start of the season. Both teams expecting to win. I expect a very competitive game tonight and a lot of fun being back indoors for the Prep Bowls. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Ryan. Enjoy the game from down on the sideline tonight. Brandon Olson kicking off, and Gay Flomo will receive it on the 8-yard line for Totino Grace, and we are underway. Flomo with the gap, and is brought down. A nice tackle by Sam Garrity. Just barely got off his block. That was a good return as it was. It looked like it was going to go for a lot more even, as Flomo returns it to the 40-yard line, 32-yard return.
Flomo does a really nice job of finding he's just running straight up field, but he's finding that seam, and that's one thing you always want your return man to do, is find that first seam and just get into it. And if you get out of it, then you're going to have a big run back.
Kyle Halverson and the Totino Grace offense starting at the 40, although if Garrity didn't have such strong hands, that one could have went for a lot more. Hand off to Burlack, right side, and not much doing there as the Bengals flow to the ball nicely. In on the stop for Blaine, Austin Hake, along with Max Bouch. So about a 1-yard pickup for Burlack. And 2nd and 9 as we get to look at the offensive starters for Coach Ferguson and crew. And a pretty experienced group, particularly in those skill positions. Returning really basically everybody that came, played in the backfield last year in the state semifinals. Halverson, play action, throws complete, but there's Garrity to lower the boom on the fullback Brady Bertram, and that will be a short loss on the play. As you get a look at the Blaine defensive unit, and they are, of course, fired up to see what they can do against this Grace offense.
And as Ryan said, they played very well against Grace in the first game back in September. And both teams are going to be fired up to get after each other tonight.
So 3rd down and 10 after that 1-yard loss. Halverson looking to throw, gets hit as he throws, and it is incomplete. Trying to swing it out there for Joe Russell. And it will bring up a punting situation here for Totino Grace. So Halverson is also the punter as you can look at his numbers for the season. Obviously, the pass isn't their, bread and butter, their go-to thing, but they have shown an ability to move the ball through the air.
So they're very effective throwing the ball because they run it so well, and a lot of their passing plays come off of their best running plays.
Sam Garrity waiting back deep to receive the punt here for the Bengals. Long count, and Halverson gets it away. Spiraling kick, Garrity going to watch it bounce, although it takes a good bounce for Blaine back over the 25 to about the 26, 27-yard line. So not a bad punt in the air, although it didn't spin the right way for Totino Grace.
No, he actually had very good hang time with that. He got the ball up in the air and turned it over. And
33-yard punt and all. There's a look at Connor Melton, as you saw earlier. His first start of the year was the game against Totino Grace, kind of thrown into the fire, but he's done well. And they've got their original starter, KJ Downey, back healthy, but we may see him some at that spot as well. Melton throwing deep on 1st down, wide open and incomplete. Oh my goodness, Blake Newberg was all alone, but couldn't quite look it in. They definitely got what they wanted on this first play. Look how open he is.
All by himself.
Good 5 yards behind, but he just couldn't. Honestly, it almost looked like he had trouble picking that ball up with the big background here in this stadium.
That could easily be, but he also slowed down just a touch. You can see just slowed down right before the ball got there. And you always teach your receivers, keep running, run fast. Get to the ball.
So 2nd down and 10 here for the Bengals. Melton will run option to the left, and he is stacked up as Waters gets to him early on there, and be a short pickup for the Bengals. Boy, if you're Blaine right now, as you look at their starting group, they have to be thinking about, we had exactly what we wanted on that first down play call. We could have struck early. We could have, got our first early shot in.
Yep.
And it, they had it all dialed in right, but it didn't work out. Melton now looking to throw. A little pressure coming as he rolls left, throws. Weigand with the catch, and he is inbounds, and it will be enough for the first down out to about the 38.
Well, that's what we talked about with Weigand, is that he's got the ability to get to the right spot, and he makes a nice grab, make sure his feet are down. First down for Blaine.
So Grace had a 3 and out. Blaine now getting a first down. Melton slinging it out and incomplete. So he tried to get it to Byron Bynum. Had him twisting around looking for it. As you could look at the Totino Grace defense, boy, they were sizzled on the first play. Luckily for them, it went incomplete. And now it'll be a 2nd down and 10 coming up here for the Bengals. They've forgotten to change the down on the, now they get it.
Yeah.
On the stick on the field here. Now here's Downey in there at quarterback. He throws to Bynum, and it is complete. And that will pick up about 7 or so. So Melton threw it for Bynum and missed him badly.
Right.
So how about you, Downey? You go in there.
The other quarterback in.
We're going to switch from lefty to righty, and now Melton is coming back in. Interesting that they turn and throw it to the same person. On
pretty much the same play, that little bubble screen. That little quick screen.
So from the 45 now, 3rd and 3 coming up for the Bengals as they're changing play from the sideline. Handing it off, and Chase Harper has a gap. Ooh, and he nearly broke that one. Jared Florell just got a piece of him and was able to bring him down. As you look at Tom DeVellis, the Bengals head coach, and obviously they have had a very strong season this year as Harper able to pick up that first down.
Well, they've gotten a couple of first downs here. They got to be feeling very confident about their offense right now.
From the 48, give is to Harper, and a short gainer there as he saw Waters coming and just had to kind of get into a little ball and protect it there, and he'll pick up only about a yard. They'll go quickly back up to the line here on 2nd and 9. Melton looked one way now, comes back over the middle and incomplete, looking to go to Sam Brown there.
There was nothing there. That was very well defended by Grace.
So a 3rd down and 9 coming up here for the Bengals. First possession of the game for Blaine after Totino Grace had a 3 and out. And they're able to get him to jump here. Still not going to be enough for the first down, but obviously it gives them a much shorter distance to cover to get there.
Yep.
Get another look just out on the edge. A little over-eager to get started there was Ryan Cush. Melton throws it out to the left side, complete to Harper. He'll have the first down. A great open field tackle to stop him by Mark O'Donnell, but easily enough for the first down as he'll pick up 12 yards on the play.
A nice pitch and catch from Melton to Harper, but a very, very good open field tackle, but still another first down for the Bengals.
And not much doing up the middle this time as Harper maybe about a half yard if that. They'll mark it right back at the 35, so no gain officially there, looks like. And 2nd and 10 as they again are going to come right to the line here and work an up-tempo offense. Melton out into the flat, complete to Bynum. And they'll pick up about 5 on the play. Just a nice safe pass play to the outside.
You know, in the West Coast offense, they don't call that a pass, they call that a long handoff.
Yeah.
You know, and those little bubble screens, you've got to stay on top of them the whole time. It's, you know, they may not get you a lot of yardage, but they really force the defense to do a couple of things and be consistent.
Here's Harper with some room around the left side. Harper down the sideline, now cutting it back, and he'll go in for the touchdown. No flags, and Blaine is on the board first. A 29-yard run by Chase Harper.
Chase Harper makes a couple of nice moves, but you can see how the threat of that bubble screen changes how the defense looks. Harper just about went out of bounds on a couple of strides there, but makes a great move at the 5-yard line and gets into the end zone for the first score of the night.
On to attempt the extra point here is Nolan Womack for the Bengals. And his kick is up, and it is good. And with 6:58 to go here in the first quarter, it is Blaine taking a 7-0 lead. Look at this, well blocked.
Yep, got a good hole. Gets up the sideline, makes a nice move, and makes a nice move right there on the defensive back. You can see defensive back just completely loses control. He just had no chance.
So the Bengals go up by a 7-0 count here, and obviously, I think the familiarity, like Ryan talked about, between these two teams helps them to not, they're not in awe in any way, shape, or form of Totino Grace, whereas maybe somebody that hasn't played them before, because of the reputation, much like with Eden Prairie, they might be a little bit nervous going up against them, but I don't think that's the case really with the Bengals at all.
Exactly.
They know they belong.
Yes, I agree with you 100% there, Jay, and it's one of those things where you've got to play with confidence. If you're going to play a team like Totino Grace or Eden Prairie or any of these teams that you're going to compete against at this level, you've got to play with confidence.
Interesting, Totino Grace using a timeout prior to this kickoff.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Coach Ferguson would do that at this point.
Obviously something they saw that they weren't liking there, so. It sounds like the Eagles, and that's really probably the one and only reason you would take a timeout there is they did not have 11 on the field. They had 10 players on the field, so those are the kind of things, the little detail things that irritate coaches right there. Not sure if they had maybe a change in personnel during the week or something, and somebody just didn't remember to get themselves out there for a kick return.
And they've got a mat on the sideline with 10 dots on it, and everybody that's on a kicking team is supposed to fill up the dot, and the kicker or the return guy is the 11th guy. Shouldn't have that happen.
Olsen kicking off here again, and it will be Flomo ranging over to take it on the 6-yard line. They nearly broke one last time, and pretty good room again, and then he was cut down as he tried to make a cut around Max Bouch there. So both teams not shying away from using their best players on whether it be kick return or kick coverage here.
No,
We
not
saw
at all.
two of the best for each team right there involved in this play.
And Flomo does another nice job of getting right up into the seam, very well blocked. And Matt Bouch does a good job of getting in and making a one-on-one tackle there.
So he returns it 26 yards out to the 32. Second possession for Grace. Hand off to Burlack, following a block, and then he is yanked down as he got out just over the 35. Pickup of 3, maybe 4 on the play.
One of the things that we like to watch, or that I like to watch with Grace, is the number of different ways that they pull and lead with offensive linemen. They pull and trap, they pull and lead, they pull and wall off, and tackles and guards, and sometimes even the center will be involved in pulling and leading a play. It's very intricate. It's really a lot of fun to watch.
Fake the handoff to Flomo. Halverson rolling right now. He's going to tuck it and go, and he has some room into Blaine territory before he is dragged down. Be a first down for Grace, their first of the night.
There's something here. This is called a waggle. And you see that he's got Burlack open, but the first thing that on the waggle that you teach the quarterback is to run the ball. Make the defense come up and stop you. Then when you run it after that, you're going to have two receivers open almost every time.
To the Blaine 46, first down and 10 here for the Eagles. This time the handoff goes to Flomo, and a little bit of a surge forward, but not a whole lot of real estate there. A couple yard gain, maybe 3.
Yeah, it doesn't look like much, but then when the sticks are moved, he's got 3 or 4 yards. And Flomo is not a slightly built halfback. He's very compact. He's very strong. He's got very good legs and hip.
Back to Flomo it goes, bouncing it to the outside this time. Stiff arms on Garrity, and then just tries to get as much as he can, and it's a physical end of the play here. You know, both teams are wanting to get after each other here, and he'll pick up the first down. About a 14-yard pickup that time for Gayflor Flomo.
And you can see he's got good strength. He does a good job of pushing Garrity off. Garrity takes a swipe at him there at the sideline.
Flomo, I think, kind of sending a message that I'm not looking to trot out of bounds. I'm going to get a piece of you, defender there.
There you go.
First down, Grace at the 30 of Blaine, trying to answer that Blaine score. Handoff to Burlack. Nice gap. Bouch drives him to the turf, but solid gainer there of about 6.
When we watch this play develop, you'll see the left guard and left tackle. This is a counter. This is a very nice tailback counter. You see the left guard and left tackle pulling and leading that play. Good for about 6.
Flomo back into the Grace offense here, so they've kind of gotten things rolling here after a 3 and out to start the game. See, they're looking to play at a slightly slower pace than what Blaine likes to. They like to chew the clock. They like to grind on you a little bit.
As they do, but they use a lot of different people. They move people in and out quite frequently.
Halverson out into the flat. Burlack falls down. He was about to make a move that maybe would have gotten him the first down, and instead he'll fall down and about no gain here. Maybe a slight loss even. Just got the feet all
just got
tangled.
his feet, yeah. No gain, so we're 3rd and 4. Easily in 4 down territory, so you really don't have to, you get 2 or 3 yards on this play, you can come back on 4th down.
Fakes it to Flomo. Halverson keeps it himself, and not going to get a whole lot there. Brought down by Tyler Osseo. And about perhaps a yard, if that.
If that, yeah.
Looks like no gain.
Osseo does a really good job of staying at home right there. You can see him stepping up. And that's what you have to do, is your linebackers have to be disciplined enough to fill in the cutback lanes. And that time Osseo did a really good job of doing that.
So 4th and 4. Not thinking field goal at all here. They're going to go for it. Halverson play action, looking downfield for Flomo, and incomplete. Had him wide open, but didn't put much loft on it. And it sails over Flomo's head. And much like Blaine missing that big one early, this should have been a touchdown if you're Grace.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's hard to find a receiver that's that wide open. And in Halverson's defense, he took a pretty good lick right as he was letting that ball go. But those are the kind of opportunities in a state semifinal game you can't afford to miss on those kinds of scoring opportunities. Those don't come along often enough.
Melton running option to the right, and he is wrapped up and then driven back hard. First guy to get there was Luke Kubish. Big number 90 there for the Eagles. Not real tall, but 5'11", 245. Able to get the stop there. Melton, no gain on that play.
Yeah, Kubish is the quintessential nose tackle type. He's a little short, a little squatty, 5'11", 240 pounds.
And that one skips off Bynum's hands and could have been dangerous, but it'll fall incomplete. So after Blaine looked very impressive moving the ball last time, now they're going to face a 3rd down and 10 coming up here.
This ball just gets away from both Bynum and Melton, or Melton and then Bynum for an incomplete.
Good protection. Melton throwing, and it is complete to Wygant. Out over the 50, breaks a tackle. Still going, bouncing off tacklers and finally ridden down from behind. Huge play there for the Bengals.
Well, this is a nice grab right away from the D-back. The D-back makes a great effort to tip that away. Doesn't quite get it. And Wygant, kind of ungainly, long, lean guy, but nobody can bring him down.
Finally, Waters rides his back. 39-yard pickup there for the Bengals down to the TG 37. Downey back in at quarterback, hands it off to Harper, and he'll pick up about 3. So Blaine, when it looked like they were pinned back there, 3rd and 10, they get the huge completion, and now back in business. Downey running the offense. Downey will keep it and falls forward for about 3 more yards. Downey, the bigger, obviously one's right-handed, one's left-handed. Downey's a senior, 6'2", 200. So a bigger guy than Melton.
I think it's good that they're getting Downey back into the game here a little bit early. Give him a couple of plays, let him get bounced around a little bit. Coming off an injury, not playing for several weeks, can really be uncomfortable. Connor Melton kind of rushed that screen out there, that bubble screen out there to Bynum. If he sets his feet and takes his time to throw that, it's going to be a nice play. But now they're at 4th and 4. So like Totino Grace a moment ago, they're 4th and not an easy play here to keep the drive alive.
Grace was able to get a receiver wide open but not hit him when they had their 4th and 4. Now we'll see what Blaine does from the 31 of Grace. Melton dumps it off to Harper, complete, but he is stopped. Waters wrapping him up. Well short of the 1st down, obviously, right near the line of scrimmage. So Totino Grace holding on downs.
It's a nice middle screen, nicely set up. But Charlie Waters does a great job, as does the other inside linebacker, Jared Florell, coming up to make the tackle and turn the ball over on down. So now each team's had a couple of good, a couple of possessions. They've gotten some 1st downs, missed on a 4th down. Now we're going to settle in and see how things are going to go here for the rest of the half.
Oops, Totino Grace going to be whistled there as Rocky Cruiser, the tight end, thought it was on one and fired off with a 2nd penalty on the Eagles. And so they'll start 1st and 15 back at their 26-yard line. A little under a minute and a half to go in this 1st quarter. Blaine leading at 7-0. Up the middle, Bertram takes the handoff, and quite a collision there as he smashes into Austin Olson. And it will be a pickup of 3 or so for Bertram, his 1st carry of the night.
So he got a little bit of that back, but it looked like that was going to be a fairly decent hole to run into, and it just closed down just as Bertram got to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 12 as we tick under a minute now in the quarter. Halverson looking to throw, swings it out to Flomo. Makes 1-man miss, and another. Flomo nearly squirted through there. Looks like he'll be just short of the 1st down though. He got just over the 40, needed 12, got 11.
Had just got over the 40, needed to get to the 41. But it makes a nice move there, getting past one. It makes a nice spin right there. It keeps the ball going. Not quite a first down, but third and very manageable here at 3rd and 1.
Was tackled by Osseo there as he was able to get him around the ankle. They will have to snap it one more time, I believe, as now they're going to use a timeout. The play clock was nearly simultaneous with the game clock, but they'll stop it at 9 seconds for this timeout. I think they had a player that was a little nicked up there, not enough to have the official stop play, but so that they kind of got a little bit lost in terms of whether they were going to substitute or not there. So they ended up using a timeout.
Just take a little bit of time there.
Interesting game so far here. Blaine has been able to strike on their early possession, go up 7-0. We've seen, I think in large part a lot of what we expected, but it's who makes the big plays and who makes the fewer mistakes.
Right.
Each team has really missed a wide open receiver that could have been a touchdown in both cases.
Exactly.
So 3rd down and 1 coming after that timeout for Grace. Is more than likely is going to be the last play of this first quarter. Play action for Halverson, gets around the rush and throws, and it is complete. Able to hook up with Cruiser, the tight end, and into Blaine territory down to about the 47-yard line, give him 13 and a first down. And the first quarter will come to an end on that completion for Grace. So after 1, it is Blaine 7, Grace nothing. We'll be back with our second quarter. So Totino Grace football into Blaine territory as we get set to begin quarter number 2. Bengals leading at 7-0 after that opening quarter. But Totino Grace trying to get a little bit of a march going. Halverson 4 out of 6 through the air, but for not big yardage, 23 yards. Handing it off here to Flomo. Flomo, a physical run. Bouch able to get a good piece of him, and he'll bring him down after about a 4-yard gain. Second down and 6 here for Grace, trying to, they so often get into a good routine, good rhythm with their offense. Blaine has done enough defensively to kind of knock them off schedule a little bit here and there, and obviously had a 3-and-out to begin the game.
They've bumped them around a little bit, and that's exactly what you need to do to move.
Flomo faking the handoff and a great open field tackle. Austin Hake able to bring him down.
Well played by Hake. That's a play we saw work very well last week. That's the counter crisscross without giving the second handoff. And Flomo is stopped by a disciplined Austin Hake to take that away from him. Third and long now. This is not in Grace's wheelhouse right here.
3rd and 6 from the 43. Halverson throw back the other way, wide open. Burlack will walk in for the touchdown. Wow, Blaine completely lost track of Ivan Burlack, and that's an easy scoring play for Totino Grace.
And that's very similar to the fourth down play they ran when he overthrew Flomo. But Burlack, all he had to do is catch the ball. That was as well executed a pass play as we've seen all year, Jay. That was really well done.
Extra point try is up, and it is good from Jack Vettel. And so Totino Grace tying it up on the pass completion to Ivan Burlack. 10:37 to go here in this second quarter.
So we see he fakes the counter and then throws back to Burlack, who was the tailback that he faked the run play to.
Something that caught Blaine completely offside. Maybe haven't seen that from Grace this year, and that you do see that fairly often where, you know, okay, he doesn't have the football, mentally relax after they fake the handoff to him, but obviously somebody.
And he did a good job of getting a chip block. You know, that kind of tells when you see that running back on the fake set up to make a block, you don't think he's going to be releasing to get on the pass, and that wheel route was really well done. That was a very well executed play.
Vettel will kick off here. Harper and Bynum are back deep, so like the Eagles, Blaine doesn't fool around. They use their top guys out there as kick returners as well. Taken at the 4-yard line here by Chase Harper, and down he goes as he sprawls over. Waters was there along with Sean Prisbilla. I think Prisbilla got most of that one, and they will bring him down at about the 20-yard line here. So first down and 10 for Blaine. Another look at here is Harper trying to hop over the top, and Prisbilla got a piece of him. So,
yeah, pretty well covered kick there at the 20-yard line.
Melton in at quarterback, slings it out to Bynum. Bynum trying to get away and does. And then finally tossed down there by Ryan Cush, but not until he picked up the first down out to the 33, gain of 13.
And again, coming right back to the bubble screen, letting Bynum catch the ball and run with it. He gets a nice block downfield from the other receiver, and that sets things up for other plays that the Bengals want to run.
Bynum running at that time on the sweep. Prisbilla with the stop after a gain of 1. And it will be second down and 9 here coming up for Blaine. Early on in the second quarter now, evened up at 7 apiece. Melton again will fire it out to Bynum. They come back to that same play from first down and just tripped up there by Ryan Suggs, but another nice gainer here for the Bengals as he'll pick up a 13 more.
And again, quick pass. See Wigan making a great block there to set Bynum up and get him the initial 5 or 6 yards.
Fake it to Bynum. Melton now throwing it deep. Well covered though, into double coverage as he tried to find Newberg out there, and probably fortunate that ball was overthrown because there were a couple of Eagles in pretty good position.
And if that was intentionally overthrown, that was very smart because there was at least double, maybe triple coverage on the receiver that time on Blake Newberg.
Make it a 2nd and 10 now for Blaine. Melton fakes the handoff, throwing out, complete to Wigan, trying to get away. And holding on tight was Prisbilla. Not an enormous gain, but he gets it into Totino territory and will pick up about 5.
And again, a good block. Newberg gets a good block. Wigan gets a couple of yards. That play's designed to get 3, 4, 5 yards. But they've run it now 6 or 7 times, and they're really doing that to keep the Grace defense spread out.
Melton faking short, now wants to go long, looking for Harper, but incomplete. Well covered there by Nolan Nielsen. He didn't really bite on that pump fake to the short out into the flat, and so now we'll bring up a punting situation for Blaine. Downey will be the punter. Obviously, especially in this spot on the field, you keep in mind that Downey is a quarterback too, so.
Right.
Oh, and the snap gets away. Downey trying to pick it up, finally finds it, wants to throw, and it is incomplete. And so Totino Grace will get the football at the line of scrimmage. As Blaine, a special teams mishap there. Ball coming up short of Downey, and it didn't take a very advantageous bounce for him there either.
He couldn't short hop that one, and tried to get the pass off. If that would have been completed, I dare say that there probably would have been a lineman downfield illegally, but at least they would have had
the ability
to come back and kick it again.
I don't think it would have given them any.
No, it wouldn't give them the first down.
Any advantage there anyway. They probably might have been just as well that that one fell incomplete. And of course, in that spot, he had a guy on him enough that trying to kick the ball there just wasn't going to happen either.
Yep.
So Grace football at the 48. Halverson fakes the handoff, had all day early, now shakes off the rusher, gets to the outside and falling forward. See where they marked this as he was tripped up and then kept his legs churning and picks up about 8.
It was a nice couple of guys got shots at him here, but he makes a spin out there. Halverson does a good job of keeping his balance, getting his right hand down and keeping his balance. He probably had 6 yards after he was going down.
So second and a couple here for Grace as they look to take the lead here early in the second quarter. Handoff to Burlack. Cuts it back, and he will be brought down inside the 40. First down here for Grace as they're trying to get that machine rolling a little bit. Haven't really broken any big long runs yet necessarily, but they've been adding things up a little bit. You got Flomo had a 14-yard run, Halverson had an 18-yard run. Burlack's averaging about 5 a carry, so not doing badly here.
Just plugging away at it, just keep poking you.
From the 39, play action. Halverson throwing, and it is incomplete. As he tried to go out there to Joe Russell.
Halverson had to rush. He had to hurry that throw a little bit because he had some pressure and he didn't really get a chance to step into it. He didn't get hit, but he didn't get a chance to step into the throw, and consequently it came up short.
So a second down and 10 here for Grace. They go to Flomo on the ground. Flomo high-stepping it through there before he is knocked down. Dylan Crump, the 330-pounder, taking him down there.
If you're going to be 6'3", 330 pounds, Crump is a good name.
The third down and 6 coming up here for Totino Grace. Certainly in a spot on the field where they be in 4-down territory here too. Halverson coming back to Burlack on the ground, and he will be wrapped up after a pickup of a yard, maybe 2 if they're lucky. So it'll be 4th down and 4 coming up.
So another key 4th down play here. This is the second or third time we've had an important 4th down. Looks like they didn't quite give him as much on that run. It's every bit of 4 yards here, 4th and 4.
Crowd making some noise here. Blaine wanting another big stop. And we're going to see a timeout taken here, I think, by Totino Grace. No, actually it's Blaine that uses the timeout here. And I wanted to see what formation that they were going to come out in here. So obviously last time they had a pretty special play dialed up there when they faked the handoff to Burlack and then threw to him on that wheel route. So You know, it becomes when you know the other team, it becomes a little bit of a chess match too. You know, and getting certain things set up, and okay, let's bring out something that we've been working on, but maybe they haven't seen.
They haven't seen, yeah. You've got to have a couple of wrinkles off of your best plays that you haven't shown. Pretty much every week. But when you get into, this point in the season, the other team's seen virtually every play you've run all season and studied them. So you have to have something that's a little bit of a different wrinkle, but that it still fits into your offensive flow. You can't just go out there and run trick plays.
So after the timeout, we get set for this 4th down and 4 play here for Grace. Alverson backing up. He's the punter too, and he is going to pooch kick this one. Instead of going for it, they're trying to pin him deep, and can they catch up? No. Grace guys could have gotten out front of that ball and maybe been able to get there. That's easier said than done, but they elect to go with the punt, and instead it'll bring it out to the 20-yard line.
That's a pretty good idea. That took a really good, the first bounce really jumped right towards the goal line. You see Ivan Berlick didn't quite get a chance to get around it.
I think I'll take that back. I don't think they really did have too good of a chance to get to that one. So from the 20, Downey in there at quarterback. He will throw it out, complete to Bynum. Bynum wrestled down hard there by Nolan Nielsen. But boy, for Blaine, it's a kind of a double thing here. They're getting very nice yardage out of this play, but you have to also figure it's setting something else up.
Oh, absolutely. And I think what they might be looking to set up is to fake the bubble screen and throw back to the single receiver away from that screen.
Downey running option. This time ball comes out. Oh, he's ruled down.
Ruled down, but it's going to be 3rd and 1. Maybe fortuitous for Blaine that was whistled down. Take a look here as he comes right at us.
Grace fans expressing their displeasure that's awful close. He wasn't all the way to the ground, but his knee might have been on the ground. And obviously, the whistle had blown and they stopped
It's hard to tell from that angle. The other angle was a pretty good angle. It was really close.
Melton back in there. He'll throw the slant, and Wigan shrugging off the defender. There's what having a nice big receiver will do for you there, as Russell came up to hit him, and Wigan didn't care.
Wigan's a good, tough guy. He's a tall, skinny kid, 6'4", 200 pounds. He takes a pretty good shot and keeps right on rolling.
From the 41, here's another toss out to Bynum, runs into his teammate, and this time they get physical and take him down after about a 2-yard pickup.
Yeah, Mark O'Donnell stepped up that time and really gave the receiver trying to block him a pretty good shot, and was able to corral that play. He didn't actually make the tackle, but he forced Bynum back inside where the tackle was made for only a 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8. Melton throwing and incomplete for Bynum as he was cutting back to the middle, and he could see that Joey Linders was trying to line him up to deliver a hit, and he just didn't watch this one in all the way. Yep. I think if at 6'2", 245 pounds, if Joey Linders was sizing me up to hit, I probably would look away too.
Melton rolling to his left, going to tuck it now, and Grace pulling up at the last moment to not hit him there, so it will be basically no gain, looks like. So 4th and long coming up.
It looked like he was going to make a little bit, but then got forced out of bounds right about the line of scrimmage. Consequently, Blaine will be forced to punt again.
Had a mishap on the punt snap last time around, so Downey out there to punt here for the Bengals. Gets away a high, long kick. Suggs drifting back, fields it at the 15. Spun away from the first man, but then brought down. Nice thick coverage there by Charles Deng for the Bengals, and it will be Grace football on the 20, but we've got an injured player. It looks like it might be Suggs. It is. And stopped there by Dang, and then I think that, coming in later in the play there, Suggs definitely never was to get up. Looks like they're looking at that left leg around the knee area.
Yep, folding the pant leg up over his knee. Get a look at it.
Take another look. Watch Suggs spin away. And then Dang comes up to meet him.
Oh, there it is right there. Looks like his knee was on the ground. His knee was on the ground, and Dang or the other one of the other tacklers landed right on the back of his leg.
It's another look at the 6A bracket as Blaine advanced with an impressive win over Minnetonka. As we said, Grace pounding Lakeville North. The other semifinal, Eden Prairie taking on Champlain Park. And I'm afraid this one might be looking a little bit more serious than he was in a lot of pain, and they're not rushing. They're not moving him.
Yeah, they're not rushing to get him up off. The hardest thing with a knee evaluation is you got to get it quick, because what happens with the pain is the athlete tightens their muscles up to help support and it's hard to get a good evaluation. So it's good to be there quickly before that muscle contraction sets in. But it looks like Suggs is going to be taken off on the cart. You can see by the expression on his face that he's not comfortable.
So they will take him back to the locker room and perhaps onto a medical facility from there.
Yeah, you want to get him back in, get him relaxed, get a good evaluation, and see exactly what was going on there. They didn't put him on the stretcher, so it probably means that he's obviously got some kind of an injury. It's very painful, but he can sit and he can bend his knee, and he could put some weight on it when he got up from the ground.
So after the brief injury stoppage, Grace football on the 20-yard line, 7-7 ball game. A little over 4 minutes to go in the first half. Halverson handing it off up the middle to Bertram. Bertram finds a gap, and he will have a first down. Or he is knocked down there by the combination of Osseo and Hake, but he will pick up 11.
You see that Bertram is a good determined runner. He's a classic fullback. He's about 5'10", 200 pounds. Really 6 foot 205, but he's a classic fullback type of a guy, and that's exactly what this offense needs from him.
Give us to Flomo on the left side, and there's another nice gainer as they open up a hole for him. Osseo wrapping him up, but it looks like he'll have another first down as he rips off 10 more.
You see the nice block by Bertram there as he comes through the hole. The double team down by the guard and the tackle. The lead in there by Bertram, and Flomo has a place to run.
Halverson looking to throw now, gets plenty of time, but everyone's covered now, wanting to go out to the left. And he will take off and run down that sideline, and a first down and more. That's the tough part. You cover well downfield, but it's tough to keep an eye on that quarterback.
And when you get a chance to bring him down, you have to make a tackle. A couple of times people have missed him, like right there, and that gives him the flank. He's a nice, courageous run. I'm sure Coach Ferguson once in a while would rather see him step out of bounds and not take a hit.
Gets 18 yards there, down to the 41-yard line of Blaine. Halverson giving to Burlack. Driving forward for about 5 on that play as their O-line has really started to get some push.
Yeah, the O-line is really starting to assert themselves and get a push up field and make things happen for their running backs. The running backs run hard. Grace running backs, as long as I can remember, always run hard.
Halverson looking, throws complete, has Russell. That'll be another first down to about the 21-yard line.
And Russell and Rocky Cruiser give a
that's
couple.
Cruiser. I'm sorry.
They give a couple of good size. Rocky Cruiser is 6 feet 8 inches tall. Gives a nice big target for Halverson to throw at. And now Blaine jumps off, making it a 1st and 5.
First penalty on the Bengals. And the nice thing, too, for Totino Grace is they've been able to stick with their normal offense to move it up the field quickly. When you pop off those first couple 10-yard runs, then the time isn't an issue really for you. They got plenty of time. And off to Flomo on that sweep, and he is cut down. Nice stop there for the Bengals by Hake, coming up to meet him, driving hard at his thighs there. And
Austin Hake makes a nice tackle, but you can see the kind of balance that Flomo has is that he almost gains his balance back after taking a shot right above the knees.
On the 15, 2nd down and 4 now for Grace. Back to Flomo they go, cutting it back, and he is wrapped up. Boy, Bouch is strong, able to hang on and not let him get away. Very minimal gain there for Flomo.
And that's well played by the defense. That's a nice little counter that they run from that eye set, giving the ball back to Flomo from the wing spot.
That'll be 3rd down and 4, and they've done a nice job of using up most of the rest of this clock, too, to not give Blaine any more time if they do get the ball back. Halverson's pass is tipped. He catches it himself, and he will have the first down, a completion to himself. We saw Sam Bradford do that last weekend there. And the Bengals thought they'd made a good defensive play, but Halverson catches it himself.
They made a good defensive play, and typically a batted pass that's caught by the quarterback does not turn out well. This one turns out well for Grace.
First down and goal. Handoff to Flomo. Big hole, but it just closes up. He stopped at the 2. Looked like that one was going to go into the end zone perhaps. And remember, they used those timeouts earlier, so now they've got to get up there. Under 30 seconds to go. And we had a timeout taken by Blaine before that snap.
That's their 2nd timeout. That really, that might have been the touchdown play right there. It's a good timeout by Blaine to catch their breath, reset their defense, and make sure everybody knows what their assignment is, where are you going, what's your gap assignment, and where are you going.
Totino Grace trying to take their first lead of the game here in the final seconds of the 2nd quarter as we are at 7-7.
Well, the key on the goal line, particularly with only 19 seconds to go, is penetration in the A seams, the guard center seams. Get some penetration there and try to disrupt the flow of the offense, because you know that they're going to be coming at you pretty hard.
So 17 ticks left on the clock here, and second down and goal here for Totino Grace. Halverson goes to Burlock, and he will walk on in for the touchdown. And the Eagles couldn't have drawn that up much better. Let's use up the rest of the time. Let's march down the field and punch it in.
And get the score right before halftime. You see again the lead block by the pulling tackle really gives Burlack an opportunity to get into the end zone.
Joe Dole's getting a good block in there as well for Grace. Battle on to attempt the extra point. Halverson the holder. The kick is up and it is good. So with 14 seconds left in the first half, Totino Grace up for the first time at 14-7 as you get another look at Burlack. His job made relatively easy that time because they got the great blocks up front.
And while the Eagle offensive line, they've got good-sized kids. They're not little, but they're certainly not big by high school standards today, but they are very well disciplined and they are very aggressive. They go after their blocks and they do a very nice job.
So we'll see what Grace does with this kickoff. You would probably not expect him to boot this ball deep.
No.
Going to keep it on the ground, fielded nicely there. It's actually Wygant. He runs into a teammate, and he'll be wrapped up and brought down at about the 40-yard line. And so Blaine will have just 7 seconds left on the clock. Melton is going to throw it out in the flat to Bynum. He juggles it and does not hang on. It's an incomplete pass. They're thinking there, well,
but that could have been a disaster.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That ball pops out of Bynum's hands and into the hands of the defender. The defender goes down the sideline untouched for a score. And you don't want to do that with 2 seconds to go in the half.
This time they'll keep it on the ground to Harper. Harper breaks out of a tackle there, cuts it back and runs into 3 Eagles at midfield, and he will be stopped. And that will bring our first half to an end here at US Bank Stadium. Totino Grace scoring late in the second quarter, so they'll take a lead into halftime. Our halftime score is Grace 14, Blaine 7. More football coming up on 12 Sports.
Connected community experience. It's at the core of what we do and it's what we deliver. Keep watching for a new way to think about and experience Channel 12 and Northwest Community Television.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back here to U.S. Bank Stadium. Totino Grace leading Blaine by a score of 14-7 after a late touchdown to end the first half for the Eagles. We check out our first half highlights, and it was actually quite a good start here for Blaine as they able to complete that pass, get a first down to Wigan. And their touchdown coming right here, handoff to Chase Harper. A nice move to the outside, tiptoes down the sideline, then a nice cutback 29-yard run. That came about midway through the first quarter. Blaine led 7-0 after one. Totino Grace able to answer, get that running game going a little bit. Physical run here from Flomo. And then play action, fake to Burlack, then throw it to him on the wheel route, and they completely lost him. 43 yards on a wide open play. That tied it up early in the second quarter. And then a nice drive to end that half. Started with that play, Bertram ripping off a 10-yard run to start the drive for Grace. And Halverson's pass tipped, and he catches it himself. It officially counts as a completion to himself for Halverson. And then late in the half, they give it to Burlack, and he's able to punch it in from 2 yards out in the final seconds of the half. We look at our first half stats, and overall fairly even with Blaine out-throwing Grace and Grace out-rushing the Bengals. 9 first downs to 6 for Totino Grace. And very thankful to see a game with not too many penalties so far, as we've seen. It seems like we've seen a lot of games this year with a lot of flags. So we are about where we expected to be around a halftime close ball game. 14-7 Totino Grace. The third quarter is coming up in just a moment here on 12 Sports.
Connected community experience. It's at the core of what we do, and it's what we deliver. Keep watching for a new way to think about and experience Channel 12 and Northwest Community Television.
And welcome back here to U.S. Bank Stadium as Totino Grace leading Blaine 14-7 as we get set to step into the second half. And let's go down to the field level with Ryan Iverson.
All right, thanks, Jay. So nothing earth-shattering here. I got a chance to visit with some of the Totino Grace coaches. They are very fearful of that Blaine offense, and I think that passing game scares them. Their plan in the second half, they said they got to finish their blocks better. They are going to run the football, ball control, keep the Blaine Bengals offense off this field. If they do that, you talked a lot in the first half about getting into that nice rhythm. We saw them get into that before halftime. That's the plan in the second half. Continue to do that, and also to use that play action pass on third downs. Maybe get Blaine, catch them in surprise and get first downs through the pass. Otherwise, a lot of ground and pound here in the second half. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ryan. And the Bengals will get the football first after they deferred to begin the game. So that's the good news for them right now. Is, it's kind of interesting because you look up and say they do only have 7 points, but at the same time, I think they feel like they moved the ball relatively well at times anyway.
And they had a couple of first down or fourth down turnovers and a couple of punts, but their defense played well enough. But really, it's very tough to, as Ryan pointed out, it's very tough to play from behind against Grace for very long, because they're going to try to just use up the clock as much as they can. They're very disciplined with that. They're going to crack the ball for 3-4 yards at a time on the running game and use that play action pass to loosen you up and keep your linebackers soft. and then keep poking at you with the run game, and that's very, very tough to deal with. You've got to be extremely disciplined, and everybody's got to play their responsibility. You can't get excited and try to do something that you're not supposed to do. Otherwise, then one of those guys, Burlack or Flomo or somebody, will get a big play and break one on you.
Yeah, Grace hasn't, piled up enormous amounts of yards on the ground, but then you just look across the board. They got, Halverson ran for 44 yards and Flomo for 39, and then Burlack another 24, plus the long pass reception, and throw in Bertram with a couple of carries, and it kind of adds up.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you've got a pretty balanced offense, and that's exactly what they. 4 guys are going to run the ball in every game. They may not ever have a 100-yard rusher, but they might have 4 guys with 55.
Bettle will kick off here for Grace. Harper and Bynum waiting back deep. Drives it toward Harper on the 6-yard line here for the Bengals, and he slips as he tried to cut back and brought down right over the 20-yard line. So good kick coverage there by Totino Grace. Harper just kind of spun his wheel as he tried to make a cut there as well.
Yeah, that's the second time we've seen somebody slip trying to make a cut here. You can see just gets on his line. He's trying to make a cut to his left on his left foot, and that's tough to do.
At the 21, Melton is the quarterback, handing it off to Harper, trying to find his way back across the middle. Waters wraps him up. He will gain 3, maybe 4 on that play. Harper did break the 29-yarder for the touchdown run for Blaine, their only score.
But that's a pretty good run. You get 4 yards on first down. That's a very good indicator.
On the 25, back to Harper, had to avoid a tackler early and then gets into the secondary. Harper knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be a late hit as well. He will pick up 15 yards on the run, and then looks like they'll get 15 more as Grace did not hold up enough along the sideline here.
Harper does a nice job. Oh yeah, he's well out of bounds when he takes that hit from McDonald. That's Mark O'Donnell. That's an ill-advised hit right there, especially when the guy's already 6 feet out of bounds. That white stripe on the sideline, 6 feet. If you're in that, outside of that, that's you're not going to be able to do that, hit somebody.
From the Eagles 45, fakes the handoff, throws complete to Wygand. He is wrapped up and driven back by the forward progress. Will give him enough for the first down. And a pickup there of about a dozen.
Curtis Wygand has made a number of nice catches and good runs after catch tonight.
Yeah, he's got 5 catches and Bynum has 6. That's been most of their passing attack. Blaine on the move here at the 33 of Grace. First down and 10. They go to Harper, sweeping to the right. Oh, and Waters breaks through and drops him.
Boy, Charlie Waters really read that well. He comes downhill about as well as you can, gets through 2 blockers, and makes a great one-on-one tackle on Harper.
So they'll lose a bit on that one. 2nd and 11 coming up now for Blaine. Melton looking to throw, has time, now it breaks down, gets away from the rush though. Melton still looking, now throws, and the catch is made. Nice job by Bynum getting his feet set and hauling that one in, and it will be a first down to the 21.
Boy, Connor Melton does a really nice job here of buying time for himself, setting himself up, and then look at the grab that Bynum makes and keeps his toes right on the sideline so he doesn't go out of bounds.
Melton swinging it out to Harper. Russell wrestles him out of bounds. And be a pickup of about 3 on that play. There's Blaine again going no huddle. 2nd and 7 from the 18 as Blaine trying to tie this one back up. And flag down. And procedure penalty here out on the left side. 2nd penalty of the game against the Bengals.
And as we pointed out more than once and every week, those 5-yard penalties, particularly when you get inside the scoring zone, inside the red zone, those are just real tough to come back from. Those are real killers.
So it'll be 2nd down and 12 here for Blaine. Early here in this 3rd quarter, they trail 14-7, but a nice march going. Melton throwing complete to Bynum. Races on to the corner, and he goes out of bounds at the 6-yard line. The 1st down goal to go here for Blaine after a pickup of 17.
Here we see Bynum just on the short cross. They clear the zone. There's nobody there, and there's nobody waiting for him on the other side as he does a nice tightrope walk down the sideline, trying to get to the goal line.
From the 6, handoff to Harper, has some space, and Harper will get in for the touchdown. Blaine within an extra point of tying this one back up. What an impressive drive here, Bill. Started back at their 20-yard line.
Right, 80 yards. Finishing with Harper getting the ball in from 6 yards out. Very well executed drive. A couple of big plays. A couple of very nice grabs by Bynum and Weigand on that drive.
Womack on to attempt the extra point. A pretty good rush put on, but he gets the kick up and through. So 10:09 to go in the 3rd. Blaine coming out strong in the 2nd half. They tie it up at 14-all after this touchdown run.
And one of the things that I had been thinking at halftime, we talked about it, is that I felt like in order to get back in this game, Blaine really needed to do something very good on this first drive and eat up some clock, get the ball downfield and score. And that's exactly what they did. They're back in. It's a tie game. They've got Totino Grace's defense a little bit on their heels. That last couple of plays, they were just a little bit flat-footed.
So Blaine doing pretty much what Grace did at the end of the first half, just putting together a nice march, a little variety to it, blocked well, and they punch it on in and even things right back up. So getting set to kick it off here for Blaine is Olson, with Burlack and Flomo waiting back deep here for Totino Grace, driving it toward Flomo on the 3. A-Floor Flomo, another good hole, and just tripped up as he crossed the 25. They have done a nice job of opening some seams in the middle on these returns, and he's come close to breaking at a couple of occasions.
Yeah, he's running hard straight up the field. That's exactly what you want your return guy to do. Don't want him running side to side. Get upfield, get some yards, and get our offense going.
Burlack takes the handoff right side, cutting it back, and then ridden down by Courtney Dawson. He will pick up 3 on that first down carry.
And again, we're seeing the lead blocking by Deasting and Doles coming around on that counter and leading him. Leading Burlack through the hole.
Halverson drops to throw, fires, and it is complete. And there'll be another first down as he connects with Cruiser. Gain of 11 for Grace. And, you know, there were for a long time it was, you know, they can run the ball, but can they throw it? And obviously these last few years they've really not necessarily changed their offense, but really worked to really get better and throwing the ball consistently well. Burlack with a hole up the middle, breaks through a tackle and then just tripped up, but he will have another 13 or so on that carry. And they have really started to get some things figured out on their front, on their offensive line, getting a lot of gap and a lot of push.
They're really, and what happens is you get a double team, you get a cross, and you get somebody leading through on almost every play, and it puts a lot of blockers at the point of attack.
Flomo takes it left side, trying to spin out of a tackle, wrapped up there by Sam Garrity. But still a pretty decent gain of about 5 on that first down carry, maybe just shy of 5.
And it looks like it wasn't going to be much of a play, and it ends up being 5 yards.
2nd and 6, so they'll call it a 4-yard gain officially there. But Grace, again, getting that offense rolling a little bit here as they did late in the first half. Bertram has a huge hole to run through. Bertram dragging tacklers with him as Shea Garrity finally able to bring him down, but not until he advances at 20 yards.
And this is what you really like about just an inside trap called guard trap. Bertram just takes the ball up. He's a lunch pail, blue collar kind of a running back. Just does his job, blocks when he's supposed to block, runs when he's supposed to run, gets the job done.
From the Blaine 23, back to Flomo. Flomo cutting it up, gets another block inside the 5 and finally brought down at about the 4. And it will be first down, goal to go here for Grace.
That was pretty well set up by number 64, Tyler Santos, as he gets the lead. You can see Bertram gets a good block. Then Flomo knows where to run. He does a good job moving in the open field and getting the ball down to the 5-yard line. The credit to Santos for a good block at the line of scrimmage there.
First and goal on the 5, Burlack. And he is cut down just short of the goal line. As they had the convoy out front of him there, looked like he was probably going to go in, but somebody just gets a piece of him right down low
right there.
there.
Just gets his left foot. And again, Doles and Deisting do a really nice job of pulling and leading through on that sweep play.
So 2nd and goal inside the 1-yard line here for Totino Grace. Halverson trying to sneak it in, and he is in for the touchdown. Eagles will go back in front as Halverson just gets himself tucked in behind that offensive line and burrows in. So he was kind of stopped. The ball hit the back of his teammate initially, but he was able to just reach it up and give a little jump and get over the top.
Just drive it in. Yep.
Extra point try here from Vettel. And the kick is up and it is good. So 6:41 to play in the 3rd quarter, and Totino Grace answers Blaine's touchdown with one of their own, and the Eagles now back in front at 21-14.
You see the push that the offensive line gets. You see 3 guys in blue in the end zone. It's hard to keep a guy out of the end zone when you're already there.
Blaine going in the middle with the low man wins theory, but they were so down to the ground that it allowed Halverson to kind of just reach it over the top of him. So Bengals will get the football back here after Totino Grace puts together a nice drive to retake the lead.
Both teams opening the second half with scores on their long scoring drives on their first possession. Kyle Halverson.
And this kick is going to sail out of bounds, so they didn't want to kick it directly to Harper, but instead they'll end up giving Blaine some pretty good field position here. So Bengals get things started.
And the ball go right out to the 35-yard line.
Melton looking to the bench here. First down play, fakes it to Harper, now throwing deep downfield and incomplete. Wanted Downey. Back there in coverage for Grace was Eric Moyna.
Downey, just the ball was just a little high for him to be able to reach. And KJ Downey played a little quarterback, plays a little receiver.
They sling it out for Bynum. Oh, wow, nearly intercepted. As Nolan Nielsen said, I've watched that play enough. I've had enough of that, and he tried to jump it, and he nearly got it.
Yeah, he got inside the block of Downey and crashes right into Bynum and gets a hand on it. That's
Nielsen
a great
almost
play.
Intercepted that ball.
You know, and it's okay to hit the receiver while the ball's in the air if the ball's behind the line of scrimmage. So that's not a pass interference.
And I don't think he really made contact with Bynum anyway. He kind of glanced off of the blocker. But so 3rd and 10, sprint out left here for Melton. Throwing on the run, and it's a strike to Downey for a first down. That's a big-time throw, 14-yard pickup.
Well, Connor Melton has shown quite a bit of poise today. He looks much more comfortable than he did when we saw him in the Osseo game early in the season. And you see Downey does a nice job of getting the grab on the ball and getting a foot down to keep himself in bounds, get the first down.
On the 49, hand off to Harper. And a short pickup there as he is wrapped up by Jared Florell. Be a gain of a couple for Harper, but Blaine, like Totino Grace, kind of getting some things going.
Right, and they're another team that if they get into a rhythm, particularly with that quick passing game, that can be as devastating as a power running game. I wouldn't be surprised to see him fake that bubble screen and throw it. If they get somebody really charging on that bubble screen to throw it deeper. There it is,
Pump
right
fake
there.
And the throw, and it is incomplete. A little behind Newberg, although it still looked, like maybe a catchable ball there, but the fall incomplete. Melton, you see, firing it out
just
there.
a little bit behind Newberg, and boy, he's had Newberg open a couple of times today, just hadn't been able to connect with him.
So 3rd and long here for the Bengals. Melton throwing wide open is Harper, and he'll have the first down and more. And finally slung out of bounds there by Russell. And they will pick up about 17, 18 more on this one.
And that's a really nice underneath crossing route by Harper. He does a good job of bringing the ball in, turning upfield, making a nice move on Russell to get upfield and get a good position for the first down.
To Harper on the ground, and he is met and driven back. As wrapped up by Waters and Prisbilla there. And no gain on that play for the Bengals. So 2nd and 10 coming up here as we tick down to about 5:20 to go here in this 3rd quarter. Blaine trailing 21-14, but driving. Melton out to Harper, and Harper is brought down. Ball coming out, and Totino Grace will have it. Waters on the recovery. Harper had pretty much stopped his momentum, but he was not down yet. And the Eagles will force the first turnover of the game right here.
Let's get a look here and see what happens as Harper's trying to stretch for the he's trying to stretch, and he gets really, really clocked pretty nicely by Joe Pintz.
Pink there getting him.
Yep.
Pintz, yeah, you're right.
And ball's covered by Waters, and There you go.
Flomo handing it off to Burlack, but well read there by the Bengals. There's Shea Garrity there to make the stop. So you see that so often when it's the second guy coming in that's able to force a fumble.
Right.
And Pintz was able to do it right there, and then Waters was in the right spot. I have to admit, from our angle up here the first time around, I wasn't sure that he wasn't already down.
Right. It was hard to tell.
Yeah, you seeing it again, and it was the correct call.
And Blaine's defense really is going to have to step up here, as they really don't want to get down by 2 scores. They don't want to be down by 1 score, but they cannot afford to get down by 2 scores.
2nd and 8, but the flinch up front for Grace. Gonna march him back 5. Their 4th penalty of the evening.
And that can be an important field position there. 2nd and 14, 2nd and 13 is very different than 2nd and 8.
Hand off to Burlack. Gets a block. Burlack down the sideline. Cutting it back and then ridden down at the 39 of Blaine. 32-yard pickup there for Burlack, and just like that, they're out of that hole. All of a sudden, that penalty didn't seem to matter much.
Nope. And you can see that that power play, that lead play that they've been running all night long, all of a sudden, there it breaks.
Handoff now to Flomo. Flomo cutting it and ridden down after a pickup of about 5.
And again, it looks like that play was pretty well handled. There was good pursuit. There was good tackling. But look at how far downfield Flomo is when he finally gets stopped. 5 yards downfield. 2nd and 5 is a great down.
Play action. Halverson rolling, has his man wide open. Bertram, just tripped up. He might have scored if he'd been able to keep his feet there. Haight got enough of him to bring him down.
And here's the fullback in the flat. Nice easy throw, good catch. Grace is in business at the 21-yard line.
Well, Ryan
to 16.
Ryan talked about it at halftime too. You start to get Blaine really selling out to stop the run, and then you work that play action in. And again, if Hake hadn't gotten a piece in there, he might have scored.
Exactly.
Burlack cutting it back and stopped just short of the 10. So about a 5-yard pickup there. Again, just like you talked about a moment ago with Flomo's run, that play didn't really look like all that much, but look where they are, 5 yards downfield.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and that's exactly the way things are supposed to work in that offense. They've got a rhythm. They're moving the ball. They're doing a very good job with their double teams, their down blocks, and their kickouts.
Officials timeout here as a Blaine. I thought at first it was equipment, but I think it actually may be an injury.
Is that Austin Hake?
Yeah, it looks like it is.
Coming over, maybe got a stinger on his shoulder.
So Harper will come in defensively. Second down and 5 here. Eagles trying to go up by 2 scores. Go with the toss to Flomo. Flomo is cut down. I think he more or less fell over Tony Strand, who got out there. He made a little move on Strand, and Strand goes down, and you see Flomo just can't quite avoid him here.
Yeah, Strand does a good job of holding his position and making sure that he stays in Flomo's way. Otherwise, Flomo goes into the end zone. But now we're third and moderate. 3rd and 3.
Back to Flomo, and he is hit immediately and will be stopped well short of the first down. Maybe got a yard. It's Garrity in on the stop. That's Sam Garrity. And actually, Garrity just kind of cleaning up late there. He was already had been run into by that point and was running down. So 4th down here for Totino Grace. And it looks like they may be going to take a timeout here. It doesn't look like, I'm not sure if they're considering field goal possibly, or, but it looks like they're just going to let the clock run down and take a timeout. Yep. You know, a field goal here would put you up by 2 scores, but I think the way they've been moving the ball, they feel like we've got a reasonably good shot to get this first down, and even if we don't, we give it to Blaine inside the 10.
Right, and 4th and 3 or 4 is not a gimme. That's a tough play to come up with. There's, you know, when we always say, if you whatever play you call, if it gets you the first down or the touchdown, it's a great call. If it doesn't, yeah, it was terrible. But these are tough. These are tough. Do you run the ball ahead? They've had good success running the ball ahead. They've had pretty good success running the ball off tackle. They pull and lead very well with their guards and tackles. I would venture to say if they keep the ball on the ground and run the ball on the ground, they're going to be running the ball to Bertram or Flomo with a lead or a counter look where they get both a guard and a tackle out in front of them.
I don't think it'd be the biggest surprise in the world to see Halverson go play action here, though, either.
Absolutely. There's the advantage that they have. They've done things so well tonight.
Here we go, 4th down. It is a play action. Halverson rolling to his right, flips it, and it is incomplete. As Cruiser got rocked right as he was going to try and haul that one in. Tony Strand timing it up and knocks it away. It looked like it was going to be a completion, but he was able to get the big hit just in time.
Yeah, it looked like that was going to even be a touchdown. And Strand does a good job of separating Cruiser from the ball. Cruiser at 6'8", 225 pounds, gives a lot of legs to shoot at. And Strand does a good job of separating Cruiser from the ball. So Blaine survives the turnover, doesn't give up a touchdown, but now they've got a long ways to go to score.
Harper hemmed in right away, and he'll be wrapped up. Waters and company getting there in a hurry. Also good penetration up front there by Hunter Christensen for Totino Grace. And it will be a short loss on the play for the Bengals. Ticking down toward the end of this 3rd quarter. Blaine does not have to run a play if they don't choose to here. And it kind of looks like they're going to wait.
Yeah, let it run out.
Let it run down and head to quarter number 4. So after 3 quarters, it is Totino Grace 21 and Blaine 14. Should be a good 4th quarter up next.
Connected community experience. It's at the core of what we do and it's what we deliver. Keep watching for a new way to think about and experience Channel 12 and Northwest Community Television.
Well, we expected a pretty close one, and that's what we're getting. 21-14 Grace after 3. That was actually the final score the first time they played in the regular season. And Grace just getting stopped now inside the 10-yard line of Blaine on a great defensive play by Tony Strand, as we saw going to break there, breaking up that what looked like a completion for a first down and maybe even a touchdown to the tight end Cruiser, but he hit him at just the right time, and he hit him hard, knocked the ball out. 2nd and 11 coming up for Blaine after Chase Harper was stopped in the backfield on their first play of this drive. Harper goes in motion. They fake it to him and now want to throw. And it is complete over the middle. Bynum breaks a tackle. Bynum still on the loose. Out to midfield and out of bounds. He'll go just shy of the 50. A nice gainer there of 42 yards for Blaine.
And here's where they throw the quick bubble screen. Look for the slant or the skinny post. Bynum does a good job getting downfield, trying to wait for his blockers to show up and then just dances out of bounds.
Melton throwing again, complete to Brown. Nice quick tackle on the play by Nolan Nielsen, but they'll get a few on that, about 3 yards.
And again, Connor Melton is showing me some real poise tonight. He's done some really nice things on that previous play. That pump fake into the flat was very well executed.
From the 47, they fake it to Harper. Throw complete to Wygand. Russell trying to rip it out and almost got it, but instead it'll be a first down to Wygand.
Once again, Wygand makes a really nice grab in traffic, gets whacked by 2 guys. Russell's trying to take that ball away from him and gets it loose. But Curtis Wygand hangs on.
At the 34, they do hand to Harper this time, trying to tuck in behind a block there, and he'll pick up 3 or 4 on that gainer.
A couple of pretty versatile players on the Bengal offense. Harper and Bynum both run the ball well, and they both catch the ball well.
Back to Harper, this time real good penetration, and he is stacked up. Ryan Cush and a couple of others there.
Yeah.
Cush getting most of that stop.
Cush gets a real good penetration there to take that away, and a good follow-up by on the second hit by Waters.
3rd down and 8 now for Blaine. Trailing at 21-14, but a nice march going as they got the stop inside their 10. Hand off to Harper, and he is met and dropped. Waters finished him after he was first hit by Joey Linders. And no gain on the play, and now Blaine, I guess it's a pretty obvious go-for-it spot here at the 32. However,
right.
It is 4th and 8. It's not a short one.
Not at all.
They're going to go quick with it. Melton rolling to his left, throwing on the run and incomplete. Trying to get it to Brown. He was right near the stick, but couldn't squeeze it in.
Yeah, and this one, he lets this one go just a little bit late, and it's a little wide. Brown couldn't bring it in and keep his body in bounds. If he lets that ball go a step sooner, Brown's got a chance at it. So now Grace takes over. Both teams have turned the ball over now on fourth down. They've each had a score this half. This is a tight back and forth game.
Football on the Eagles' 32-yard line as they get it back, clinging to a 7-point lead. Halverson gives to Burlack, and he is wrapped up immediately. Great penetration and stop by Osseo there for the Bengals as he fired off hard, got in behind that guard and makes the play.
And he follows. Osseo does a great job. He doesn't take a step with the fake. He follows Bertram right down the line of scrimmage. As soon as Bertram gets the ball, he's on him. Well played by Osseo. 2-yard loss.
Play action, Halverson throwing and knocked away from Bertram as Botch got there and able to get the pass breakup as Blaine playing aggressive on this series. They had good pressure on as well.
And that's the play that on a previous drive that Bertram caught the ball, and had he not slipped and fall, probably would have gotten a touchdown. So that's how quickly the Blaine defense reacted to that play. They recognized it. Bouch got out and made the play.
3rd down and 12 here for Grace. Blaine looking to get a quick stop and get the ball back. Halverson under pressure, a little screen off to Cruiser, and he is cut down as Hake, who came back in after getting dinged up, able to make the stop, and obviously well short of the first down. So he'll only get about 4 on this gainer. Boy, Halverson had to get rid of this one.
Yeah, he had to get rid of this one quick. He got some pressure. And Cruiser does a nice job of getting the ball and getting upfield, just not enough for the first down.
Halverson is the punter as well. Garrity waiting back deep. Sam Garrity takes it at the 25, and he is met immediately and nowhere to go there as he is wrapped up by the combination of Nielsen and O'Donnell. But he made the catch, and that's the most important part.
That's the most important. You got to catch the ball first before you can run with it. Very well covered by the Grace punt team.
So Blaine will start with it at their 28-yard line. A lot of time to go, but you can't necessarily count on getting too many more possessions here.
That's
8 minutes.
Exactly it. You've got to try to get, obviously you want to get the ball downfield and score now.
Throwing deep downfield, looking for Newberg, but incomplete. Pretty decent coverage here out there as well by Russell.
Yeah, Russell does a good job, and that is a very tough pass. You have to be able to just drop the ball in there, and that's a really tough touch pass to throw 35 yards downfield.
Melton giving his receivers a little time to catch their breath, I think, here too, before they get this play going, as they hand off to Harper, and he trips over his teammate, it looked like.
Yeah.
And no gain on that play.
Boy, and he had some room to move too. And I think he just tripped over the tackle's foot. Yep, right there.
So 3rd and 10 now for the Bengals. Melton throwing, and it is intercepted. Nielsen read that one very well and got to it. He had to go to the ground to make the catch, so he couldn't run, but a huge pickoff there for Totino Grace.
And this is probably an ill-advised throw. He's looking at Wygand all the way. Wygand ends up going, this is tough. The ball's already in the air, and Wygand goes down. And
what a job too by Nielsen to
Nielsen just jumping on that.
To spin so that he was protected the ball from not hitting the ground by getting his body underneath it too.
Yeah, and that was just unfortunate that Wygand went to the ground and gave Nielsen the open shot at the ball.
From the 34, they go with the toss to Burlack, and he is met and wrapped up by big Courtney Dawson. And Dawson got the best of that collision. There's Nielsen. He's excited, and rightfully so. That was a heck of a play. Not just to read the ball, but the catch was not that easy.
No, and catch it and control it and bring it in. Yes, absolutely.
No, 2nd down and 10 here for the Eagles after the big stop by Blaine on Burlack. They'll go right back to him again, and again he is wrapped up early on as Shea Garrity gets there. Blaine really selling out to try and get the runner, get this stop in the backfield.
Absolutely, yeah, they're really done a nice job of stopping the running plays now. Now they've got to figure out, probably the ball will be in the air this time, but what kind of a pass will it be? Will it be a play action pass? Will they look to hit Cruiser up in the middle?
Handoff instead to Flomo, and he is hit early on, trying to spin his way out of there, but couldn't escape. Too many Bengals there. Austin Olson hits him first as he fought off a block pretty effectively as Bertram tried to kick out block.
Yeah, Austin Olson does a really nice job of keeping leverage on the blocker and fighting the block at the line of scrimmage and then making the initial tackle. So 4th and 10.
Remember, he's the punter as well. Halverson might drop back and boot this ball, and I think that's probably going to be the case.
Just going to pooch it.
See if he can pin him deep here. And this time it looks like it is going to stay in the playing field and will be down at the 5-yard line. So that worked out very well for Totino Grace.
Right. And now we've just had, just with that exchange of possessions, we're getting now to the point of the game where 5.5 minutes left in the game, and Blaine is a long way from scoring to tie this thing up. And if they have the ball for any length of time now and don't score, it's going to be very tough for them to get the ball back.
95 yards to the end zone here from the 5-yard line. Throws out to Bynum, who caught it in his end zone. And then is brought down by Mark O'Donnell. Pickup of, it looks like, about 3.
And Grace seems to be willing to let that pass be completed back in the backfield and come up and try to make the tackle for a 3 or 4 yard gain, which is probably pretty good in terms of overall defense, because you don't want to get burned deep. You don't want to let one of those guys burn you deep as you're trying to get up and crash that bubble screen.
2nd and 7 here for Blaine. 10th catch of the game, by the way, for Bynum. Melton under pressure, steps up nicely, throwing deep downfield for Downey, but it is incomplete. Downey kind of stopped his route there, and the play was breaking down.
Yeah, the receiver cannot, once the ball's in the air, the receiver has to go get it. You can't slow down for any reason. You've got to go get it.
So 3rd down and 7 here for the Bengals. Melton, a pretty good feat to rather easily avoid the rush there. But we'll see if Totino Grace will be bringing some heat here. Melton dropping into his end zone, throwing deep down the middle of the field, and Wigan got his fingertips on it, but it is incomplete. Plenty of traffic around.
Well, we've seen Wigan make that catch, that high catch up over his head in traffic. Doesn't quite, oh, it just skipped off his fingertips, but that's a ball that Wigan has caught earlier in the game.
Downey on as the punter. Remember, they did have trouble with one punt snap earlier that got away from him. He ended up throwing an incomplete pass. Russell is waiting around midfield. And it's again a low snap, but Downey able to field it and get it out of there. Russell will take a fair catch at the 39-yard line. So a 31-yard punt, considering what the snap was and everything. Pretty good job by Downey, but Grace will have it in great field position to potentially try and go take a step towards salting this one away.
Right, and I look at it this way, you know, for the Eagle offense, they just have to get a couple of first downs and keep the clock moving, and no matter what happens with the ball, and unless something really magical happens for Blaine, they're not going to get, they're going to have a long way to go.
Burlack with it. Boy, they're trying to rip that ball free. He'll be stopped after about a 5-yard pickup. Blaine very much grabbing at the football.
I think we'll see them doing that, but you can't, and again, Blaine can't really afford to give up a first down here, because that'll give Grace a minute and a half, 2 minutes on the clock that they cannot afford to not have the ball. And I believe Grace will probably milk every bit of time out of the clock that they can.
Second and 5 here for the Eagles. They go to Bertram. Bertram cut down on a low tackle there by Shea Garrity. He will be short of the first down, but did get some good progress, about 3 yards. I thought there was a possibility Blaine would go ahead and use a timeout immediately after that play, but they did not.
Yeah. to me, it makes sense to use your timeouts now. You don't need them as much when you have the ball, but you can't afford to let your opponent continue to let the clock run.
3rd and 3 here for Grace. Halverson to Flomo. Driving forward. Boy, he's going to be close.
Very close.
I'm going to have to take a long look at this one.
Just about exactly on the line to gain.
Yeah, he might be just short. They're going to bring the chains in. Either way here, I suspect the Eagles would be looking at a pretty decent shot at getting it here on 4th down, even if he didn't quite have it. Oh, wow, that is extremely close.
One chain link.
Yeah, did not quite get it. So 4th and a half yard. It's like Grace bringing in some more beef to try and get this first down.
I'm pretty confident that we'll see Kyle Halverson just sneak it and try to get it over.
I believe Blaine is using a timeout here.
Now, this is a good timeout. The clock is stopped, so you know.
And once the chains were brought off, it would have been restarted. So they are not,
just not
wasting any time.
Yeah.
Right, not letting it start. Another look at Flomo trying to pick his way through there. And from up here, I would say this was a pretty good spot. I think
it seemed like it.
He got over the 30, but just shy of the 31.
And you can see where his knee is down.
Yeah,
his knee is down at the 30.
That last reach forward with his right arm he was not given that, and nor should he have been based on that.
Now this is a big play. If Grace gets the first down, I dare say they'd be able to run the clock out and seal the win. If they do not, Blaine's got a fighting chance.
Fourth down and less than a yard coming up here for Grace. They have had a little issue with pre-snap penalties in this game, and that's something that they could not afford here. And obviously, it's the same thing on the other side. Blaine, you got to make sure that you're not leaving early. Crowd making plenty of noise here as Grace, now they're going to use a timeout. And there seemed to be some question with personnel there.
Yeah, you don't see that look on Jeff Ferguson's face very much, and that's his frustrated with what's happened on the line of scrimmage look.
The good news is taking a timeout here doesn't really hurt you in any way. And it's better to do that than
run a bad play or have an illegal procedure or something crazy like that.
And they've had a veteran staff and he trusts them, but you could see right there he was kind of thinking, really? That really just happened when we came out?
Yeah.
I suspect it might have had something to do with the fact that they looked like they were bringing in their heavy formation there, and someone was confused about that. We've got an extra lineman in the backfield here, and Halverson reaches the ball, ball's loose.
Yep, and Blaine
looks like Blaine will have to stop either way, whether they recovered or not.
But the ball hit off of somebody's head, and Blaine's got it. So there's a huge miscue. Halverson losing the ball as he jumped for the first down.
Brown ends up with the recovery. Jeff Ferguson trying to plead his case, but I don't think there's any way that he will stop or down or
he's holding the ball out with two hands and pops it off of somebody's head. You're not down there. That ball that's a live ball. Looks like Sam Brown. Boucher. And Brown looks like he was able to cover that.
Yeah, it's a different scenario. It's a different scenario than if this was the goal line. Then
Exactly.
Then you might say Halverson had stretched the ball over the goal line and was good to go, but he was definitely not stopped.
No.
Right call made there. So Blaine with
Blaine
a
gives
big
himself
stop.
a chance.
Melton slings it out to Harper. Harper driving forward, and he is brought down in the field of play, which is good news for Grace.
Right.
If you're Blaine, you have to be a little conscious of that now. If you realize you're not going to get anything more, it's time to get out.
Right. And Blaine's got to play the clock as much as they do the plays, but they have got to move the ball. They've got to get 5, 6 yards, 7 yards on every play, and they can't wait around for things to happen.
Hand off to Harper, sweeping left, and nice job defensively. The Eagles seal that one up.
Now that play has not been as successful here the last two series as it had been earlier in the game. The Grace defense is sliding very nicely. Yeah, we can see that Harper, the last 5 carries, has gained no yardage on that play.
Melton faking, now throwing deep downfield for Wigan, and he's got it.
Yeah.
Brought down at about the 32-yard line. And the Bengals in business.
And Curtis Wigan makes a nice grab in traffic, takes a big hit from O'Donnell, and that's well done. That's well executed. Nice ball by Connor Melton.
Melton throwing it out to Bynum. Bynum down the sideline, and he'll be close to another first down. Give him about 9 more on that one. 11th catch for Bynum.
Bynum's had a really nice game tonight. He's done a real good job, and he does a good job of running after he catches the ball. Again, that's how that play is designed to do.
2nd and 1. Harper with a big gap. Harper up the middle. Down inside the 5 to about the 1-yard line. 1st and goal coming up for Blaine. And if they score, will they go for 2?
Will it be Tom Newman all over again from 1988?
Melton giving it off. Harper is in for the touchdown. Blaine to within 1.
Well, here's your gut check, Jay. That was a fabulous drive after the turnover. And my belief is that you get a chance to tie the game, take your chance in overtime. There's only 59 seconds. You got to be smart with your defense. The last 59 seconds. Don't give Grace anything.
Looks like they're going for 2, though.
Well,
at least early indication.
If I remember correctly, Tom Newman wore number 7 as well in the championship game. Here we see the touchdown by Harper. Bryce Harper doing a nice job of driving into the end zone, get the score.
Bryce Harper is the baseball player.
I think I might have done that once in the previous game that we had too. Well, Bryce Harper would be proud to chase Harper tonight.
Boy, what a clutch drive here by the Bengals.
Right.
They go, 69 yards.
I don't know.
That completion to Wygant was huge.
And to me, it takes an awful lot of courage to put the whole game, put the entire season on the line right here when you've got a good kicker. He's done a good job all night tonight. My feeling would be take the 1 and let's take our chance in overtime. But if you get the point, if you get the 2, how hard is that for Grace to deal with?
Eagles use their 2nd timeout right there. Melton fakes the handoff, looking. Now he's going to be dropped, and the Eagles will hang on to the lead. Joey Linders got there.
Yep.
Melton had a lot of time, but it just finally
a lot of time
out.
and a lot, and that's in Blaine. That's going to be talked about for a long time. Is why go for 2 when you got a chance to tie it up and go into overtime? Melton had plenty of time, but I was looking in the end zone, and there was nobody even close to be open. He had nobody to throw that ball to. When he first looked, he didn't have a chance to get it off, and there's nobody there. And now you risk your whole season being gone with 59 seconds. It can still be done. An onside kick, cover it, and a couple of good plays, and you're right back on it. But a lot more magic has to happen now than would have to happen in an overtime situation.
I have to admit, I'm not down with that though. I'm okay with going for two there. I think it's an opportunity to squeeze the win right there.
Absolutely. It's just one of those things. It's a huge risk, a huge reward, and you better have a plan for if you don't make it to do something that's going to be huge.
I guess my feeling too is say you go ahead and you kick it, you tie it, and then you lose in overtime. How is that any worse?
Yeah.
See what kind of onside kick Blaine's able to come up with here. Grace has pretty much everybody up to within at least 15 yards of the ball. Olsen will put his foot to it here. Rolls it on the ground. Ooh, and great hands by guess who? Halverson, the quarterback. That was not a real easy ball to handle, to be honest about it.
That ball was skipping around.
He was able to get it to roll. Keep in mind they've changed the rule for safety purposes about not being able to drive the ball into the ground and make it hop.
Yep.
So Blaine can use timeouts a couple times, but unless the Eagles have trouble with an exchange or something, this one should be over.
And I think if I were Grace right now, if I'm Jeff Ferguson, I'm just telling Kyle Halverson, take a knee, don't hand the ball, don't risk anything happening.
Well, they are going to hand off. Here's Burlak, and he is popped after a gain of 2 or 3. Quick timeout called by Blaine.
Blaine can only stop the clock twice, so I still would favor don't hand the ball off. You have somebody get popped right at the point of attack, that ball can squirt free, and as we saw last week, a scoop and score can happen very quickly.
Going to put a little time back on the clock, I believe they said 52 seconds. So.
Yep.
Wow, what a football game this has turned out to be. Blaine with that clutch drive, but they went for the jugular, went for 2, and did not get it.
And like you said, Jay, that is not a bad call. I think that they, and coaches a lot of times, I know in talking with, several coaches, they say, well, my team it was such an emotional thing to get there. I wanted to capitalize on that emotion, and that's a perfectly legitimate approach to the 2-point conversion.
Go with the toss back to Flomo, and he's going to have the first down and more. Flomo.
Oh my goodness.
Cutting it inside the 20, still on his feet, has to protect the football here. Garrity trying to wrestle it out, and this is not quite a touchdown. He is stopped inside the 1.
Flomo puts the exclamation point on this effort. Boy, he just really sheds tackler after tackler after tackler, and boy, he is very close to the goal line when he goes down. That ball hit in the end zone, and I'm not sure his knee hit. Watch as Garrity takes him into making the tackle here. And again, I think Grace is going to probably try to score here, but
no, I don't think so.
I'd almost just take a knee and let the clock run out.
They let it tick down and took a timeout. I think you're right. I don't think they're going to try and punch it in here. But either way, right now,
Well, the reason you wouldn't want to punch it in, right? You say, well, yeah, you want to get a score. Well, if you score, you go up by 8. That still gives your opponent one more chance to touch the football. And if they get a score and 2-point conversion, they tie you.
A delay a game call here against Grace because they did not have any timeouts left. But so then they shouldn't be taking a timeout right now, which they're basically doing. But
now I think, Grace just take a knee. Because you don't want you want the clock running. You want to get out of here and play next week. You don't want to give your opponent even 1 second on the clock to do something. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Alverson takes a quick knee. And we are going to tick down to 0. Wow, what a football game here tonight.
That was outstanding.
And Totino Grace is going to move into the championship with a 21-20 victory. Boy, we saw some clutch drives back and forth, Bill. This one was at a lot of good clutch plays both ways, and then Totino Grace getting the sack on the 2-point conversion.
Right.
Give him credit for the coverage, too.
Yeah, especially after not making it on 4th and less than 1 earlier in the drive, and giving Blaine that one breath that they needed to come back and attempt to tie the game or take the lead. This was an outstanding game. Not a lot of penalties. Very well played. A lot of strategy. Coaching staff really working hard on both sides of the field, and credit both teams. This is a huge game tonight.
So Grace will move into the Prep Bowl, where they will take on the winner of the Eden Prairie Champlin Park game, and we'll have that one for you on 12 Sports as well. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's contest. For Bill Hunstock, Ryan Iverson, and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Your final is Totino Grace 21, Blaine 20.